Hey guys, it's Targon here doing another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I am helping my friend Doctor uh, to kind of revamp and revitalize his account. So he asked me to do an account takeover, and so I'm actually really excited to get this account up and running. So he's got a lot of great champions, and just has been kind of struggling with kind of getting the teams configured for some of the later content in game. And so I wanted to make this video just to kind of as a guide for like how to revitalize an account. Like if you're feeling stuck where some of your peers are kind of moving past you with Clan Boss or in other content, and you know you have great champions, but you're just not quite sure how to use them, this video is for you. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm going to just look at, he's got some really fantastic champions, and there's more here in the vault. Um, I'm going to focus on some of these ones here for now and, kind of see. So the key things that he wanted help with was with Clan Boss, Spider 20, and kind of shoring up his dragon runs as well. So we're going to help him build for that. Probably not really going to level any extra champions because I think he's got the champions to do it. Um, and so the thing you want to ask yourself with your count when you're looking at your champions is where are they going to be most useful? Early game, you can kind of just take your best champions, throw whatever gear on them, and it can kind of get you through. But as you get to the later stages in the game, you kind of need to specialize. So, so we're going to look at those champions. We're also going to look at what's the priorities. So if you're first priority is you got to be able to hit stage 12-3 in campaign with one champion to farm XP for everybody else. Your starter champion can do this. Whether you've got KL, whether you've got Elhain, any of them, they can farm that. You might early on you might need to put them in life steal gear so they're healing up. Um, but you can do that. After that, next steps to focus on is moving up to Dragon 20 and a Clan Boss team. Those two things, for the most part, go together really well because the gear that you're getting from Dragon is going to really help you build a good Clan Boss team, and the same team that you're using in Clan Boss is going to be good in Dragon for the most part, because the skills that affect the dragon and the clan boss are very similar, and just they both do stuns. There's a lot of similarities between dragon and clan boss. So I think if we can get a good clan boss team going, we can just plug that into Dragon 20 and it'll be no problem. So we're gonna work on those things, and then Spider 20 probably would be the next step after that, just because you can get so much silver from Spider. Um, Fire Knight is a really important dungeon later on in the game. Early in the game, the gear from Fire Knight is not as critical to progression. Once you start getting kind of more advanced, or if you have specific champions that benefit a lot more from some of the Fire Knight gear. But in general, dragons first, clan bosses first, those two right together, and then you go Spider, and then you go for Fire Knight. All right, so we're gonna do those three things: dragon, clan boss, Spider. All right. Um, so one really important thing in assessing your champions is what do they do and where are they going to be most useful to me? So for example, with Either Crowned, she is a fantastic healer. I wish I had her. They did a guaranteed event for her and I didn't quite have enough shards, so I couldn't get her. But man, I'd love to have a champion like this. She's got a cleanse and heals everybody. This is amazing. This is great in Clan Boss. This is great for Dragon. This is great in Arena. She's kind of an all-around great champion. Um, Increases defense, does continuous heals, um, and then she also can put a leech on enemies, and actually does leech on all enemies, which is really great, and does another continuous heal. And then she's got this passive that uh, places a continuous heal on an ally with the lowest health at the start of each turn, which is awesome. So so she's a really great healer, so she's going to be really helpful for us. I'm probably going to look at booking, at least getting these two skills. But so if you're building, so you want to look at like support champions, you're going to build much different than you're going to build, say, an attack champion, um, or a defense champion. Um, and even in the attack champion, so like Ninja and Foley, he's got these two champions kind of specialize in different content. Um, it's not exclusive. You can actually Foley can be a very good champion, like in Clan Boss. Um, but in general, Foley, I would say his best use is as an arena nuker. So if I'm building an arena nuker, assuming that I can get my team going first, I'm going to load them up on attack, going to get enough speed to the speed that I think I need in order to get him going in sync with my arena team, but still be able to go before the enemy. The reason he's so great in arena is because he does this: attacks all enemies, decreases turn meters, um, and enemies killed by the skill can't be revived. That's so huge. Sometimes you go up against teams where they have like Duchess, or even if there's Arbiter, and sometimes it's hard to take those guys out in one shot. But if you can block the revive, then the revivers are no good anymore. That's why Foley is so great for arena. Um, so he can also be really good for Clan Boss because he does this drop defense, and he also has this leech that he can put on. But I think I'm going to try and build a Clan Boss team without him because we got other champions that can do these same things. Okay. Um, Nethril is also like another attack champion that's going to be built a little bit differently. So much of his kit is reliant on like turn meter control, and he does stuns. So really, I'm going to build him with more accuracy and not worry as much about attack. And I'm probably going to use him more in, say, dungeon content than I would. Well, actually, you can use him. He'd actually be really helpful in arena, but really, he's also really great for dungeons, for controlling the waves in Doom Tower as well. So you kind of want to build him with a little bit more sustainability. Having damage isn't necessarily as key. I'm not sure how hard he hits. Like you might be able to use him as a nuker, but with these skills, um, really you want to look at being able to land those, especially since we've already got Foley on the account. Countess Lix is another great example of an attack champion. And I think she can hit reasonably hard, but really she does this block active skills thing, which is great for arena. It's not as great versus some of the bosses. So the only boss that I know of that, actually, I'm not even sure if block active skills works on him. There's one Doom Tower boss that's susceptible to skill manipulation, but I don't think you can block the skills. I think you can reduce the cooldown. So she's not going to be as good for boss battles. She can be good with wave control. Um, she also can do some decreased speed and turn meter manipulation, which can be useful for some bosses, but really there's other champions that do it better, like Syl, for example. So like even with like Fire Knight or Spider, if I'm trying to do decreased speed and turn meter, you're better off going with Syl. So I would probably build her more again with the accuracy and with the speeds I'd need for arena, because that's where she's going to be most useful to me. So again, a champion like Razin, right? He's his skills scale from defense. All of them do damage. He can hit reasonably hard, but the skills scale from damage. So if you put like attack gear on him, it does absolutely nothing. Attack is that one stat that for some champions is just completely worthless. Um, so you're also going to want accuracy on him if you want to get the turn meter decrease to work, and if you want to get the drop defense and weaken, which we're definitely going to want. if we're using him for dragon or for clan boss, and he's really great for both of those. So I'll probably rebuild him, rebuild quite a few of these guys. Um, really key things to watch out for early on. You want to make sure that you have decent speeds, especially once you start going towards later game content like the stage 20 dungeons and Nightmare Clan Boss. Speed 150, you're going to be going a good bit slower than the Clan Boss. I think Nightmare Clan Boss is 180. So he's going to be going before you, and there's going to be a few times where he might go twice before you get a turn. So ideally, we want to get that up to at least be in the 180 range. Ideally, you want to be looking at building champions with 200 speed or higher eventually. Obviously, that requires a substantial amount of gear. Um, so so we're going to go ahead and build some of these guys out. There, there's plenty of decent gear actually. I think we'll look at some of the sets. So, for example, he's got him in this Divine Offense set, and honestly, the sets aren't super critical. Like, really, you want to just try and get the right stats, and he's got good defense. We'll try to bring the speed up a little bit, maybe bring up the crit rate and bring up the accuracy a little bit as well. Um, but my thought is because this increases his attack, so he's a defense champion, so his attack isn't going to help him at all. So I might see if there's some other options for putting in that instead. Swift Parry is a set that's really great for like arena champions, either as a nuker, somebody that if the other team goes first, you want to give them a chance to stay alive so they can wipe everybody out. So like Foley might be really good in that. It's not to say it's not necessarily a bad set for Razin, but it's not necessarily maximizing his potential because the main thing we're going to want with him is defense, some health so he can survive well, speed, accuracy, and then look at like crit rate, crit damage. But first steps are we got to get the speed and the accuracy to decent levels without sacrificing too much health and defense. Um, Whatever level dungeon you're going for, the basic guide for accuracy is 10 times the dungeon level. So if we're hitting Dragon 20, we want to have 200 accuracy. You can get by with less, but it's going to get resisted more often. If you got 200 accuracy on hitting level 20 dungeon, you're pretty much always going to be landing the debuffs. So that's just the guide for accuracy. And we'll see, I think yeah, we can swap this out. The attack actually isn't doing any good for him. It's got speed and health and defense, which is those are all helpful, but the attack isn't. So we'll probably put like this accuracy banner on him, and then see we might be able to switch this accuracy chest for something else. Let's see, we got two Scylla the Drakes, so which is great for dungeons. Again, her damage scales from defense. So, depending on what these stats are on here, she's not getting a bonus from the attack set per se. Though the speed is nice. And we're going to want to probably build up her accuracy a little bit, but aside from that, she's actually built pretty solid. Maybe try and bring the defense up a little bit. But the speed, that's kind of the speed that you want to get to. That's going to be 190. 190 or higher. Ninja, so much of Ninja's damage scales from his HP burn. I mean, he can hit hard as well, but because I'm going to have him going against bosses, I'm probably going to sacrifice some of this attack for a little bit more defense and health so that he can survive longer. And then definitely need to have more accuracy, because if he's got 70 accuracy and we're going against the stage 20 dungeons or the Nightmare Clan boss, he's not going to be landing any of his HP burns. Nightmare Clan boss, again, you want 200 accuracy is kind of where you want to be. And this is where he just does so much damage. He does so much damage to bosses with this. It's crazy. So we're gonna rebuild him. The crit rate and crit damage and the attack is great. But we want to get that accuracy so we can maximize the clan boss. Really, he's kind of built more like I would maybe build him for arena. But first step is we want to get to Nightmare Clan Boss because that's going to give us shards, that's going to give us books, the things that we need to take the account to the next level. Arena, not to say you ignore it early on, but it's not as critical early on to advance in Arena. It can help, but um, the big thing is you want to get some gear. You want to be able to get some shards so that way you can start pulling more and more champions. And I think with what he's got, we're going to be able to stay in Gold Arena regardless, even if we're not using Ninja. I'm not sure if he was even using Ninja in his Arena team. Um, so we're going to build Ninja for Clan Boss. We're going to build Martyr for Clan Boss. Bring her speeds and her accuracy up. Again, she's got decrease attack, decrease defense. Those are skills that you really want to have land on the Clan Boss. Depending on if we're able to get a leech going, we're probably going to skip the lifesteal gear because the champions will be able to heal up, especially if we're using a counterattack. The champions will be able to heal up. So that's going to be the first step. I'm going to build a Clan Boss team. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, roll up some of the gear, try and get optimize some of the stats for these champions a little bit more, and then we'll come back and see how the results go on Clan Boss. All right, we are back. Leveled up some of the gear to put on some champions for our Clan Boss team. So I'm just going to show you the team that I'm going to run here. We're going to use Wathier. So I had to increase her speed and her accuracy substantially. Don't necessarily need accuracy on her depending on how you're going to use her, but because we're using a counterattack, I liked the idea of having a leech on the A1, so I think she's going to be able to keep that leech on. And between that and her continuous heals, that should have no problem keeping our team at full health. So I put on over 200 accuracy. Ideally, want to bring that up a little bit when it's time to do Ultra Nightmare. But I just kind of went with some of the gear we have. Like she's got a 4-star accuracy banner. I think there's a 5-star in there, but this was already leveled up and it had decent rolls on speed. So I figured we'll keep that. And then, when it's time to hit Ultra Nightmare, can kind of increase some stuff. The team I'm assembling, we'll see how it does. I think probably might be able to do Ultra Nightmare with like really good gear and really good builds. Maybe adding another really good champion to it. I didn't upgrade most of the gear to level 16. I just did to level 12 just so I wouldn't be spending all the silver, but I think this should be good. I brought down her health. I think I brought up her defense a little bit. Dropped her critical stats down a lot, but she's not in there to do damage. She's in there to keep the team alive. Ninja did kind of like a full rebuild on him. Ideally, I'd like to bring up his defense and health a little bit for this, but wanted to keep relatively okay critical stats. But the biggest thing we needed was accuracy. His stats will go up once the gear gets finished leveling up. Another champion we're going to use here, we're going to use Nethril, just because he's got this Blood Harvest A1. It's a 3-hitter, 30% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff. Might be worth booking him, but I didn't want to go and use all the books. He's already got the Giant Slayer Mastery, which is good for a 3-hitter on the A1, and especially with the counterattacks that we're going to be getting, he's going to be putting, even at a 30% chance, it's going to be putting plenty of poisons up there. It's going to be, getting plenty of Giant Slayer procs going. So I brought his accuracy and his speed up. Again, would like probably more health. I think his defense is fine. Kept him close to 100% crit rate. Crit damage could be higher. I think actually I can swap out. Does he have a crit damage amulet? Here we go. Let's just bring that up. We'll throw this on. Although that'll bring his health down even more. It'll probably be okay. We'll see. Famous last words, right? Probably be okay. Um, so yeah, we got him with some pretty decent stats here. He's got good defense, so I think the health will be okay for Nightmare. Also going to use Geomancer. Now, with using Ninja and Geomancer simultaneously, you do kind of want to watch out for for Ninja kind of blasting off Geomancer's HP burn, but just they're both such good damage dealers. I figured for right now, stick them both in there and see how it goes. I got it so Ninja's going to go first, do his HP burn, and then Geomancer's going to come in and use his. And I think it's going to cycle through fast enough that even when Ninja kind of gets rid of Geo's burn, he's going to be able to put it back up. I think it should be okay. We're going to use Martyr. So I just basically pumped up her speed and her accuracy. Gave her some, solid defense. So we want her going before the clan boss. So I got her at 180. So that should get her going before. That way everybody's going to be counterattacking. And then Geomancer's build, again, just kind of pumped up some accuracy, added some speed. Really, you don't need to worry so much about attack. And even like the critical stats, like for the clan boss, really most of the damage that Geomancer is going to be doing to the clan boss is going to be from the AoEs and the reflex with his War Master going off. So you'll see that in the run. So I have not tried this run yet, so we're going to just go ahead and see how it goes. So we'll go down here to Nightmare. And so really, we're just going to be swapping out Feign for... Who was I going to do? Oh, Nether. I'm just going to run it on auto and see how it goes. There you see 3 poisons, which is great. There you see all the reflex coming up there. And see, again, that 77, wow, he got a triple hit. That 77s are the War Masters and the Giant Slayer procs. So Giant Slayer will allow you to get that to proc. Oh, it didn't go off in it. Yeah, on each hit, there's a chance for it to go, which is why with the triple hitter, it's good. Less than 3, you want to stick to War Master because there's a higher chance that War Master goes off. But when it's 3, then we're talking, pretty good amount of damage. So far, so good. So we only need to get, 40 million basically to get top chest on Nightmare clan boss. And so that means if you can at least get to 10, then that becomes a 4 key. Ideally, if you can get to like 13, 14 range, then you can get a 3 key. But I'm hoping that we can even get this team to be a 2 key for Nightmare. I'm not sure. We might probably with the gear situation, because I was starting to run low on silver. I think if everybody had all their gear to 16, we'd probably be doing a lot better in terms of health. Another potential option to add here would be like a different cleanse option, and I didn't really look much at speed tuning. I just plugged it in and did full auto. Might be a way to try and tune it so that she does her cleanse after the stun. Especially if there's another force champion in there, she's not going to be the stun target because her health is really high. So that'd be something to kind of look into, a way to tune it so that she just cleanses off the stun and then nobody is missing their turn. Especially if you're going to go into Ultra Nightmare, that would be, you definitely want to try and do that. But for Nightmare, this comp is working pretty well here. But some other options could be like a Doom Priest. You could bring in Doom Priest. I thought about using Black Knight. Um, Adding Black Knight instead of Geomancer might be another interesting idea, just because he can also do additional continuous heals, and he'll also be able to put increased defense, so that way you're going to have increased defense up pretty much the whole time between him and Wethier. Wow, see, there's her heal going off. Maybe actually a champion like Jareg from the Lizard faction, who could do a decreased attack on the A1 and an ally protect. That might actually be really interesting. And he also will start putting in continuous heals. So it might be worth looking at using him either instead of Ninja or instead of Geomancer, or even instead of Nethril. Really, so, these three here are all the damage dealing. So Nethril with the poisons, Geomancer and Ninja with the HP burns and so forth. So really, kind of one of these two could go. I just figured I'd go ahead and use them since they were already built fairly well. But this is a solid run here. I don't think we'll be able to get to 20. Maybe. Let's see who survives this. Okay, we're all up. We might be able to get to 20 here. So as is, this is close to a 2 key on Nightmare, which is great. So most of the gear is still at level 12. So that means we can really, once the gear is up to 16, I'm sure this will go up over 20 million. And that's just with these champions. So there's plenty of other champions that can be used. So again, when you're building for Clan Boss, you want to really build more for sustainability. So for example, with Ninja, let's see, I did keep, what was it, crit rate gauntlets on. Once these go up, I think he should be pretty close to 100% crit rate. If you wanted more survivability, potentially putting a defense percent on would be helpful. Increasing his health and defense will help a lot. So bringing these up to 16 will be helpful. There's not as much options for, like, oh, here we can increase his health with some glyphs. Maybe look for like some defense percent glyphs here. I like having the defense ring on him for this, just because his base defense is kind of low. So again, for bosses, clan boss, dragon, and so forth, you want to, when you're bringing in an attack champion, you want to look at their base defense and try and bring that up, because otherwise they'll go down pretty quickly. So looking for perhaps better gear with better defense percent stats. Maybe rolling these up will provide some of that, and then you can glyph it up and bring his defense up. Ideally, I'd like it a little over 2,000 for doing Nightmare Clan Boss. Like 2.2k would be ideal. Nethril is there with the defense, would like to bring his HP back up, but you saw how much longer Nethril was lasting into the fight. That's because I was able to get his defense higher. Just with Ninja, wasn't able to kind of quite get the gear to work. I think probably if I took a little bit more time looking through, might be able to get him up there a little bit more. Geomancer, kind of the same thing. He's got better defense. And again, I think, leveling up some of this stuff. So this is HP. Gauntlets got him with a defense chest, even though he's an attack champion because of the job he's doing. Want him with more defensive stats. Martyr is this is a pretty solid build. Ideally, maybe a little bit more health, but she's over 4,000 defense, which is great. And then with here, again, there's not really much to speak of for critical stats, but with her high health, high defense, she was able to last a really long time in the fight. All right, so that is the clan boss. Let's take this same team into Dragon. This is actually a really solid Dragon team. Could probably swap out Coldheart, but so just to demonstrate, probably would not want Nethril. So I'm going to keep Syl in there. Probably don't need Geomancer and Ninja. Let me see. Which, all right, so this is the one that I'll use because she's got better speed. Her accuracy is okay. We'll use this Royal Guard. Yeah, Royal Guard 2. I think this team should probably be perfectly fine full auto. Not using Nethril because he's weak affinity, therefore his poisons won't work, but for the other affinities he is great because if you can poison the dragon, then that does a lot of damage. I think the team he said he was using for Dragon 20 is not 100%, so I want to see if we can get it to 100%, and we'll be able to tell. But I think between Syl's passive and Wethier's healing, we should be perfectly fine. And now to the boss. And again, the advantage with having her with the leech is, now everybody's healing up that much more. Let's see, what's Royal Guard going to do? Yes. All right. So there you see that huge chunk of defense, or chunk of damage, rather, from his takedown skill. And I'm not sure if it hadn't been for that skill going off, if the dragon would have used his big attack, but I think we still would have been fine. Because we got enough healing going on here. Yeah, this will be easy auto, 100%. There we go. All right, so ooh, I'm keeping that one. So clan boss objective complete. Dragon's Lair objective complete. I'm going to pause the video, see if I can get the stats required for Spider 20. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough crit damage in the Vault of Artifacts just yet, but we might be able to do it. So I'm going to pause the video and check back. All right, so I think we finally got a team that might be able to beat Spider. Might. I just kind of got the gear going as best as possible. I have yet to try it. Oh, we've got to beat stage 19 first. Did not realize that was going to be a thing. All right. All right, so we beat Spider 19, and we are on to Spider 20. So this same team should actually do quite a bit better here, in fact. So basically everybody's going to be targeting her, and we just have Syl and Miscreated Monster there to keep her alive. Could potentially use another Coldheart in place of Syl, but Syl's kind of nice to have in case something goes sideways. have her go ahead and put increased defense up. And Sill's going to stun a few spiderlings. Oh, why did... I forgot that Cold Heart does that. Because the AI is so dumb. I forgot she does her A2. Let's see. Can we drop turn meter enough for Cold Heart? Yes. Okay, great. There we go. So she drops the turn meter down. So the reason Miscreated Monster is so great, especially for level 20, is he puts big shields because he's doing a lot of damage because he's positive affinity for these guys. And that creates these huge shields based on the damage he does. And then he's also going to do Ally Protect. So everybody's still going to target her. I spoke incorrectly. They're going to target Cold Heart. I'm not sure why. Must be because she's got more buffs on her. There we go. Now they're back to targeting her. That's why. But we'll figure that out. Now again, so the spider is going to heal. So this type of composition can take a little while. But I think we should be able to just kind of leave it on auto. And again, the advantage having Sill is if she goes down, Sill can bring her back up. Hopefully Sill and Wathier and Cold Heart don't drop, because if that happens, then we're really going to be in a pickle. But so Sill's just good because she's keeping everybody at full health. She can drop the turn meter. If I was using a second Cold Heart instead of Sill, it would go faster, but probably, things could go wrong. So that's why I'm just going to do this. Again, eventually building a nuke team will probably be much more time efficient. Nuke teams are not 100%. There is the makings for an HP burn. So he's got Ultimate Gaelic on this account, which if you partner him with someone who does increase attack before he goes, then he can put HP burn on everybody. And then you just got to keep dropping the turn meter of the Spider Queen while the Spiderlings burn her down. But those champions weren't ready to go. So I figured we'll just do this so that we can have a Spider 20 team that can do full auto. And probably be good to, in the team setup, make Cold Heart prioritize her nuke as opposed to the A2. All right, 5.5 minutes. I know that's a long run. For this type of team, that's kind of what you're going to end up getting. There might be some other ways you can kind of build a team around it, but really, this is just kind of one of those things where you set up some auto battles and just walk away, come back later, collect rewards. So this will be one of the longer dungeons again until you get a nuke team going. Spider can be, well, an HP burn team can go pretty quickly too, usually like a minute or so. Let's see. Flat stats on everything. But mission accomplished. We are almost to 2-key level for Nightmare, and we are auto farming Dragon 20, and we're able to hit Spider 20. I'm pretty sure that team you can just plug it in on auto and it'll go. So those were kind of the primary objectives here, and we've got it done. So awesome. I'll see it, maybe another point can look at building arena champions and so forth, but this is a great start. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's helpful for some other folks out there as well. And for you, Doctor, you can always refer back to this in terms of like, okay, if you get stuck again. So hopefully that, this will give you a nice jump start into that next level of the game. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you next time.